to my channel, or welcome. My name is Lily and today I am going to be doing a cartoon tutorial on how I would draw cartoons. Some people may draw cartoons a bit different to me, but this is how I would draw it. So, I like to draw like my heads like that. I like to do like a square sort of shape. Sometimes I do have a little bit of like issues with drawing like different sort of heads, so sometimes I may do like a rounder head like that, or something like that. But most of the time I do a more square head, so I do something like that or something like that. And I've been through many different sort of eye sort of things, and I don't really draw the nose to what's the word, like a realistic sort of thing. I normally do something like that because I don't really like to draw noses that much, because it's not my favourite thing to do in the whole entire world. And then mainly my mouths are like that, or sometimes I do more of like the lips or the open mouth or something. And then I like to do my big eyes with like a little eyelash there, and then like that. Like that. That's what I mainly like to do. And I use, well, let's just start with this. Well, our step 1 is obviously draw the face. Our step 2 is either the eyes or the nose, so like that. And then like the nose. I normally draw the nose second after I've drawn one eye, so that I can get where I'm going to put my next eye. If you need to pause the video at any point if you want to like copy it at all, just pause the video. And then after I've done my eyes and my nose, I do my mouth. Now, I do many sort of different hairs. This is just my, I mainly do girl characters. So this is just like a girl character thing. You can give her whatever hairstyle you want, but I normally do this after I've drawn the eyes. I like to give it a bit more of a different thing. Sometimes I do curls and all that, which is kind of what I'm doing right now, like that. And then I do that on the same side, and then I just make it like sort of even. And then I either do them as bangs, which are going to be like different colours, or I just leave them plain and leave them like that. Now, I prefer to go down because I don't really like to do like ponytails, because I can never get the sort of high ponytails, but I can do like pigtails and everything. Actually, I may do it on this one. I may do some pigtails, but I'm going to do them like curly at the bottom, so that makes sense for her curly hair. And I normally do like scrunchies with them, so I'm going to draw some scrunchies. So we have our pigtail person here, and now we're going to start by drawing her neck next, and her shoulders. You don't want to make the shoulders like too broad and long, otherwise it can look a tiny bit weird. So So now you want to do that. You just want to get the whole body sort of shape in first. If you're doing a full body, if you're just doing like a landscape just up to there, then that's you. So, no, I mean, I normally do that because it's a bit simpler for me. But sometimes I do like all the bodies and all that. So, okay, this is just looking a bit weird for me. Okay, so I know this looks a bit weird that I draw her arms behind her backs, but it's just the simplest thing for me at the moment because I'm not very good at drawing hands. So, like I said, once you have like all your body in and all that, you want to make sure you are then going to like have to layer clothing and everything on top, and like shoes and all that. So, right, first thing we're going to do, we're going to choose a top. Now, a top that would suit her maybe would probably be, yeah, something like this, and like that, and then like that, and then up to there, and then maybe if we go for like some sort of trousers that go over top like that, and I'll like cut off there, and then maybe some like boots. Yeah, let's do some boots. I feel like that would be quite cute. So, this is what we have so far for our cartoon tutorial. I keep forgetting that's a cartoon tutorial. Anyway, so let's go for the steps again. We draw the face. Then we draw one eye, nose, eye, mouth. That's how I do it, but you can do it eyes, nose, mouth. And then of course you've got your hair, do whatever hairstyle you want. But yes. And then I'll show you what I have so far for her bottoms. Here's her like sort of feet at the moment. Yeah. Now, you can choose whether you want to outline her in pen or not. I like to make it a bit more cartoony sort of thing. So I like to use my pen, which I'm just going to put over there for a second. While I get out the rubber, I'm just using a random rubber. I'm not using a kneaded eraser at the moment, but I will get out my kneaded eraser. Just think. I'm just going to put that over there. Because my kneaded eraser is a bit hard to use sometimes. So, we're going to rub her out lightly. We're just going to scoop that off. Now, if you can see the bits that are a tiny bit darker, maybe rub them out a little bit more. And so that you have light things that you can go over it with your fine liner or whatever pen you want to use. You can use any black pen. Okay, so I don't want to start with the big facial features to begin with, but I just outline it for the more cartoony effect. Now we're going to outline her face. Now we're going to start off with her hair. I'm just going to do her scrunchies quickly. Okay, now I'm going to do her trousers quickly. Now I'm not particularly good at drawing shoes, so they're not going to be the best. Also, what I would suggest is if you are going to be using a fine liner, I would suggest getting one that you know dries quite quickly, because otherwise it's going to go all smudgy when you rub out the excess pencil, and we don't really want that to happen. Okay, now that I've done that, I have her all outlined, as you can see, from top to bottom. Now I am going to use my rubber, and I'm just going to go over it again with the rubber because I have a fast dry now. So I'm going to just go rub, rub, rub very aggressively because I just need to get all of that rubber off so it's all gone. Now after this you can use any medium, but I'm going to use pencils as it is in my sketchbook so that the markers don't bleed through. I'm just going to do any bits that need to touch up before I begin. Oh no, I missed pencil. Okay, let's just get all that off. And now that is all gone. Now it's all gone. So I'm just going to grab my pencils. These are, I have new pencils, so they're quite nice at the moment. I think I am, so we've got our eyes, the nose and all that. Like I say, the way I draw it is I draw big eyes and all that, and sometimes I make proportions like a bit different so that it's more cartoony. So I'm going to pick out my colours. If you are using fine liner, then I would suggest using your fine liner to do the pupils after you've finished your whatever medium you're using. So I want to start with her skin. I'm going to use quite a light colour. I like to test out my colours before I actually use them. So I'm just going to test it out quickly. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to go in with my pencil and I'm just going to colour it in. Now my colouring pencil is sometimes a little bit blotchy, so bear with me there. It's just because I haven't used pencils in a little while. I've been using my markers a lot. Okay, and now I'm just going to go through here. And I'm just going to do any bits where I know where my skin is. You can use any pencil or whatever you want, any medium basically. So I'm just colouring her in at the moment, but that is mainly how I draw a cartoon. I'm just colouring it because I have to colour it, otherwise I feel like it's unfinished in my head when it's like a cartoon, because you want them to be animated, you want them to be fun, you know, colourful. I think I am going to go with blue for her trousers, so they are going to be jeans, I think. So I'm just going to make sure that I've coloured them in nicely. Okay, so I've coloured in more according to like shading and everything. So I've done a bit of shading here where I think it's going to be a tiny bit darker and all of that. So I think I'm going to do purple for her t-shirt. I don't know which purple to go for though. Yeah, I'm going to go for purple because that's quite nice. So show you on the other head after I've coloured this one in how to do all the features again. And if you need, if you want like a video that shows you how to do like the eyes separately and all that, let me know in the comments so that I can do that. I'm going to do her shoes next, and I think I'm going to do her shoes like a nice brown. I'm going to go lightly with this brown. Okay, I'm just doing that. Like I say, I'm not the best with pencils at the moment because I haven't used them in a long time. So yeah, just going to colour that in a little bit more. And then I'm going to do her hair next, I think. I'm just still umming and ahhing whether to do her bangs a different colour. So, oh wait, what am I doing? Oh yes. So I'm now going to colour in her scrunchies. A purple, the same as her t-shirt, because why not? Oh, and what I'm going to do, as I am using pencils, I am going to try and add in like a tiny tad bit of blush, just to make it her rosy cheeked, because I think that's quite cute on the character. Okay, now I am going to do her hair this time. I think I'm leaning to more I'm thinking that this character is a little bit childish. She's embracing her childness. So I am going to use a blue for the tips of her hair, and I think yellow, because I think that would look quite cute. Okay, that's a bit yellow. I'm just going to press lightly with this one, so that I don't overdo it with the yellow, because it's a bit bright. I think I'm quite happy with that, just to leave it like that, with the, like, that sort of thing, if that makes any sense with that blend. I haven't really blended it that well, though. It's just, it looks a bit nice if I leave it like that. Okay, now I'm going to use this slightly quickly, and this slightly here too, but then I'm going to do it a little bit darker, just so that it does shine through. I don't really know what I'm talking about with pencils, but you know, it's normal, I think. And okay, I think I'm just going to make her hair look a little bit more yellower. Like I say, I would use my markers, but I wanted to use my pencils today. Now, I'm leaning towards more like a blue eye again, because I feel like that would be quite nice for her. Okay, now that I've coloured all of her in, I am now going to use this, and I'm going to colour her eyeball, no, not her eyeball, her pupil. This may take a few minutes because it's quite a small one, So I'm just gonna make sure that that is coloured in completely. Okay, now with this face, I am going to go over how to do like the eyes and all that. So we're going to do one big eye, like that. And then I'm just going to do a nose here, any size or shape that you want. And then a smile, like I say, any size or shape that you want. Now for the eyes, like that. So I did one big circle and then cut it off there, so that I have two separate bits, so that I can colour the eye and I can make the back eye part. Oh, the people. Okay, now I'm going to try and replicate that on the same side. It doesn't really matter whether they're the same exact size. It matters that they're close in size. So again, I've done the same thing on that side. And then of course you do your hair. You can do whatever hair that you want. I'm just going to do some quick little buns. Like that. Just to make it quick and easy. Okay. So, yeah. And then of course you can do your body, however size or shape that you want. And all that. So, that was the cartoon. That was how I do cartoons. So my cartoon tutorial. Thank you all for watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And leave any suggestions for any videos down in the comments down below. Bye!